This is Alan Liska with Green Archer Comics, and today I want to talk a little bit about what I call finding your people. There's probably a fancier marketing term for this, but it really ties into the last video, which I will link to here, where I talked about in defending reading comics and how comics can be good and trying to convince people that they are good. But today I want to talk a little bit about your audience or how to find what your audience is. And to demonstrate what I mean by this, over the last 2 weeks, we've done 4 very, very different conventions. We did a traditional comic book convention, cybersecurity convention, a Christmas market, and then a Maker's Mart. And they had very different results. So I'm going to share those results with you, including how much we made at each, what the cost for the table was, and all that, just so you can get a feel for what I'm talking about. But ultimately, what I'm trying to do here is, again, what I call finding your people, figuring out where your audience is and how to talk to your audience in different spaces, because very different conversations that we have at a Christmas market versus a cybersecurity convention. Anyway, if you like this type of content, I'd appreciate it if you'd like the video and subscribe. In addition to this, we also do a whole lot of comic reviews and we sell our own comics. So let's buckle in and let's talk some numbers and show some video of the different cons that we were at. The 4 conventions that we're discussing today ran from November 15th through November 29th of 2025. And so they were all recent. And we'll start with the first one, November 15th, which was StellarCon. StellarCon was a one-day con near Baltimore, Maryland. This is the 3rd StellarCon that we've done. We've done 2 in Baltimore and 1 in Lancaster. And I'll be honest, as much as I love StellarCon, and I'll get into the reasons why in a minute, we really don't have much luck as a vendor there. I wish that wasn't the case, but that is just the reality. In all 3 cons that we've done, we haven't made our table back yet. And that can be fine if there are other benefits, if people are picking up our bookmarks and signing up for our mailing list or following us on Instagram or whatever other things that people can do to stay in touch with us after, then we know that at least we're seeing some progress and we're building our audience. We don't see that from any of them. So we had an end table in Artist Alley, which was $175. And an end table is not the end cap. So it's not the one that is on the side of the table. It's just the last table on Artist Alley. So we had fairly good position. And that, again, is $175. But for the day, we only made $137. So we didn't even clear table. And again, that's not always a deal breaker. But in this case, where it's the 3rd time at a StellarCon event where we haven't even cleared table, it's hard to justify going back, especially if we're not picking up new fans or new followers or anything like that. And it's a shame because I love StellarCon because it's really open to all kinds of fandoms and it brings in a great array of people and people celebrating a lot of different fandoms. But I've noticed that there are fewer and fewer comics vendors there. Not just fewer indie comics vendors, although that is true, but also even comic book shops that have set up shop there. There were only 2 in this one that I saw. And that's not a great sign as far as comics fandom. So StellarCon, just as it's expanded and grown and expanded its fandom, I think it's starting to leave comics behind, and so the people that are coming just aren't interested in comics, and we haven't been able to get our message through to those people that, hey, we're cool too, you should buy our comics. It's a shame, again, because it's a con that I really like, and I'd love to support by being a vendor, and we will probably still go to it. We just probably won't table there anymore. So that was StellarCon. Then we jump to November 19th and CyberWarCon. So CyberWarCon is a cybersecurity convention that is located also in Northern Virginia. It's one of my favorite cybersecurity conventions every year. The talks are absolutely fantastic. And obviously for a cybersecurity convention, unlike a Comic-Con, the real focus is on the talks. Most of the vendors there are selling you, security products, not things that you can take home with you today. But we always do well at these. There are 3 different cybersecurity conventions that we table at every year, and we do well at all of them. But these are our people. These are the people that we know are our customers and get our message, what we're trying to say. So there, the table cost us nothing. Which meant that anything was a profit, but we cleared $485 in sales that day. So really above and beyond, it was a very good day for us. Next, we go to the Heritage High School Arts and Crafts Show. So this is their Christmas show. And I talked in the last video, and I'll link up here to it, about how I want to do more Christmas shows because I think we have an interesting message and I think we have a way of selling to those people. This was not necessarily a good convention for us as far as sales goes. And honestly, as far as like getting new followers and people joining their mailing list and things like that. But I honestly didn't expect it to be, because I didn't know what to expect. So the space plus renting table and chairs cost us a total of $55. And we made $60 that day. So we made $5. And that's absolutely fine. We didn't lose money on the table, and it was worth it. And again, this was another single day convention. It was worth it just for the experience to understand how these work and the kind of people that are there. We are going to have to do a lot of refining of our message if we're going to have success at those, but I think there is potential there. I think there's an opportunity, and I may be wrong. I may do a couple more of these next year and find out, no, we're just not going to sell comics to people as Christmas gifts, or we're not going to convince people that comics are Christmas gifts. But I think if we work on our message a little bit, I do think there's some opportunity here. There were a whole lot of people that stopped by our table because they saw Buck Rogers and they were really excited about that. It was just converting them into buying it was a much harder sell. The reason I love Christmas markets, though, is people go there to spend money, right? And so they want to spend money. We just have to convince them that we are the people that they need to spend money with. And because comics are a unique thing there, I do think that there's an opportunity. And again, I may be completely deluded and maybe deluding myself with this, but I think it is worth giving it a try again to see if we can make it work. And if we find out that it doesn't, then that's fine. We gave it a shot. We tried something different. Generally speaking, the tables for these are relatively inexpensive. So it's low risk for us to at least invest in a table and give it a shot. And it was fun to meet and talk to all the other vendors, the ones that really only do this at Christmas, but they do it every weekend for 3 months at Christmas time. So I think that that's kind of fascinating. That was November 22nd, and then we jumped to the last one, which was November 29th at Meanwhile Coffee Shop in Herndon. So Meanwhile Coffee Shop is a wonderful coffee shop near us that is comics focused. And this was their first Maker's Mart. And I will tell you, it was cold. Was not expecting how cold it is. That's why there's not a whole lot of video here. I just completely forgot because we were busy trying to stay warm. But I love these guys. I think that they're doing an amazing job, and I love what they've done, bringing comics and coffee together. So I really wanted to support them. And they were offering up spaces at no cost because this was their first Maker's Mart, and they weren't sure what to expect. How did we do? We made $155. So $155 with no table fee is absolutely fantastic as far as I'm concerned. And again, supporting a local comics book business, focused business, is important to me as well. So I think that's a win overall. So then how did we do across these last 2 weeks at these 4 conventions? We made a total of $837 across 4 shows, which in 2 weeks, you're not going to get rich doing that, but I will definitely take it. And it's interesting to be able to share this experience with you all. Thank you as always for watching, and we'd appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe again. Thanks again, and keep reading comics, especially indie comics.